Hey everybody, Jen here. Don't mind the weird mix-up of the phone and everything. I've got it on my lap because the Wi-Fi is going kind of weird in my house. First time I've been on here in a while doing a live. There's been a lot of things going on. Yeah, I gotta stop saying I just wanted to get on here and explain to you what I've been feeling. So, right now, my head's, in the clouds. Very interesting pressure right around the eyes, the sockets. Last 2 days, extremely high-pitched ringing in the ears, so I know a message from Spirit's coming through. But it very well could also be because my grandmother currently, right now, is at the precipice of passing. They gave her on Monday Wednesday, 48 hours to 72 hours to live. She's with hospice. We've been knowing this for a while. And it's been pretty much expected. But what's going on is this connection I have with her, which I haven't fully understood it, and I don't know. I keep going back and forth between whether or not she's a negative spirit, whether or not she wasn't a negative spirit and she's just got some negative spirit attached to her, whether or not she's just a really good manipulator, and all these different things, and then I just start thinking of different things that are going on. So now, looking back at some photos, starting to remember things of how it used to be when I was a kid and things versus how it is now, and how her body started to deteriorate and how her attitude changed, started me thinking that yes, she's not necessarily that negative entity that I originally thought she was, but it's just that she probably towards the end here had something negative latch onto her, and it exasperated her health, and it started to deteriorate and things like that. It was almost also after I left this house. Now I noticed since I moved back in June that the house's energy is different. There's definitely more of a somber energy. It's not like a happy, loving energy that I had originally when I was here. I don't know if that's just because inadvertently maybe someone for PT or OT or the girl that was here or me inadvertently something latched on to one of us or any of us and just came in and just decided to reside here, or if it's just the energy and a lot of that residual stuff coming up from our past that we could also consider demons that we're dealing with. Not necessarily actually physical demons, if you believe in that, but just more or less energies that are of lower vibration. Energies that we have to look through. Now, part 2 of this is also right now we are dealing and going through Mercury retrograde, which will be taking place until March 10th, I believe. Calendar. It's not February. So, we're kind of going to be going into the shadow period where a lot of technology is going to be malfunctioning. I've already seen it at my work. There's going to be a lot of things changing slightly. Communication's going to be hard. Try not to sign any contracts, get a new job, or buy a new house, or any of that stuff, start a new relationship, because in this period, there's going to be a lot of bumps, and the energy doesn't flow as smoothly as it would outside of this time period of Mercury retrograde. Funny thing is, just yesterday at work, I also noticed, and I had a conversation with my boss about why I wasn't put on a certain day, and he said because they're cutting hours. So now I have to look for another job because only working 2 days at 14 hours a week will not support me, especially now that I have to pay off financial issues with another one of my things from the past that came up that I'm now dealing with and releasing to the universe. So yesterday I was feeling really bad. And plus my dragon came this month and yesterday. So I'm dealing with that too. So there's a lot of low vibration energy that I'm floating through and I'm trying to raise up above it. This is what we should be doing. We should also not be negating how we're feeling though, especially during Mercury retrograde. This is a time where we can go in and look at our shadow, so to speak. All those negative traits that we've been trying to suppress, trying to ignore, trying others to not see. This is a time where we can be okay with that, being like, you know what, this is part of me. For me, I have been working on not being as manipulative to people and for situations and getting my own good. I apparently fell into that pattern when I moved back in with my grandparents, or when I was with my grandparents, and now being away and then coming back and having other people comment to me, there's a lot of things that I didn't know because I did it on autopilot. And it was very hard for me to see that originally. There was a lot of that personality that's coming through that's angry. And it was very personal for me to hear that. And then once I removed myself from that and realized, you know what, they're only saying this, well, there was alternative motives too, but I'm looking at it as they're only saying this, or the universe is bringing it to my attention. That's how I look at it more. So that I can write it and clear the karma and advance for the ascension and things like that. So if we take these chances and we look deeper into the reason why these are being brought up, hence why I'm not able to work the extra hour or extra day. Right now, I can't see it. Right now, I could be in the 3D thought pattern ego center saying, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to make my bills. I'm not going to be able to do this, da-da-da. That just dumbs us all down. I have to be strong enough to be able to be like, you know what, I'm going to let the universe provide. Something will come my way. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what the universe has in store, but something always does. Even from my past and being able to see from the histories of what has happened throughout my life, I've known that I've always been able to pull through. Situations have come up spontaneously that I wouldn't have even noticed. My grandmother being in there and passing basically also is another thing where it will cause I can't see the end result of the situation, but I know things have to be put in motion, and things are already put in motion, and if you want to look at it this way, in another timeline as well, where what I know my higher self is on that timeline is telling me, oh no, you already looked for that job. You already got that job, that dream job that you're looking for right now. The one that you're afraid that you're not going to get, the one that you're afraid that is not going to manifest or whatever. Don't worry about that. I already got this covered a while back. So just sit down, let the energy go through, feel the energy, relax, try to do what you can with the immediate thing that you have today. Like say, okay, today's laundry day. If you feel like doing laundry, do laundry. If it's not, don't worry about it. Basically, go with what you're feeling. Do a lot of things with RE. Like, reevaluate your life. Reevaluate the choices you've made. Relax. Rejuvenate. Retrospect. Going inside. Reorganize your house. Spring clean early. Right now we're doing that too. We're donating a lot of my grandmother's things, making way for energy to come back into the house because it was all stagnant. Moving furniture around, doing maybe some feng shui or chi or feng whatever, so that the energy changes up. I know I have to work on my crystals and replacing my crystals and stuff. Saging. You can sage. Sage is interesting too because sage also gets rid of the good energy and bad energy. Sage is very good for being a clean slate. Palo Santo, very good for releasing bad energy, keeping good energy. Good thing to know there. A lot of other things. You can. I've got like so much pressure right now in my ear. Hence why I'm saying all the time because I am not. I've got my Mercury retrograde bracelets on. I've cleared them in selenite, which is also what I'm also wearing, along with my regular Aqua Aura pendant that I love. I'm drinking my tea. I started having issues here in my throat, which means my throat chakra, I'm not speaking my truth again. So I have to go internal and rethink about why I'm not saying what I need to say. Is it because I'm afraid of what other people are going to look and say? Is it because I'm afraid to tell my aunt the truth of how I feel? Because her energy is so strong that she's kind of overpowering everybody. Am I afraid because of what she did to me before? And I'm afraid of what's going to happen now. Those are all things that are limiting beliefs, and I need to surmount those and clear those out now so that I don't have that going forward into the year 2020. Also, reevaluate how your health is, what choices you're making for your health. Possibly even start thinking about different avenues, buying better fruits and vegetables at a different place. Or what I'm doing is I'm reevaluating where my money has to go and what that entails. Reevaluating my relationship. There was a guy at Sherwin-Williams that came in twice now for the last 2 days that I've been working there, who I haven't seen in a while and who asked me out when I first started there, and it's this kind of like creepy vibe. So all of a sudden you'll see a lot of that in Mercury retrograde too. Exes coming up all of a sudden, people from your past re-emerging. Things like that. Little things that like you've dealt with. A lot of these things like situations that you thought you dealt with and you cleared out, coming back again and being like, okay, have you really cleared this all out? Case in point, issues with my aunt again. Luckily she's in Idaho and she's not coming back here now, so. But then again, if she was back here, it's showing me that I'm still tethered, that I'm not completely free of everything, as if I wanted to be. So it's just interesting. And then reevaluating what you want in your life for, like, your dreams and things like that. Getting the idea of, like, that fire under your feet, to maybe go back and do something else you used to enjoy and you're not doing anymore. These are the type of things that we do in Mercury retrograde. Nothing finite, nothing set in stone, because once you do that, then the hiccups are going to start happening. There is, my work buddy's sister came in yesterday, and they were telling me about a guy, or one of their friends, that just got a shotgun wedding yesterday, and I'm like, you do not want to get married on Mercury retrograde, or in Mercury retrograde, because that's usually when, at the end of those relationships, most of them fall apart for one reason or another. There's miscommunication, there's, other issues that haven't been dealt with that come up. I'd advise don't get married during Mercury retrograde. No. And different things like that. So, oh my gosh, the pressure in my ears right now is insane. Which definitely means my grandmother is very close to passing. Which is good. Because all I do is I want her to be in peace. And 2 days ago, I got extreme ringing in here, and I kept telling whoever it was that was trying to communicate with me to dumb it down a little. I said, I'm like 3D, 4D, I can't hear what you're saying in that high pitch, because my body's not in tune to that yet. I said, or come to me in my dream, which is another thing we can do. So, there are a lot of things going on. My grandfather's health is probably finally good. It's really good. The weather here in New York State, up, down, up, down, up, down. We just came through periods of teens at night, like 19, wind chills, negative digits. Right now, we're in 40-degree weather. Hey, look, it's 222. That was cool. I was just going to look at the weather on my computer, and it's 222. A lot of those angels numbers. It's 37 right now. Tomorrow it's going to be 45, and then in 3 days we're going to go back down to the teens again. So there's a lot of change going in that too. So right now, what we should do is just, if you feel a certain way, just kind of feel that way. Don't let the sadness or the anger or whatever get you down. You don't want to dwell in those places necessarily, but during this time, it is a time to be okay with accepting that, hey, I'm angry, I don't feel right, or having that righteous anger. But we don't also want to push that on other people either. We don't want to project that onto others. We want to own our own feelings and be like, yeah, I don't feel good. I feel frustrated. I feel manipulated. I feel put down. I feel treaded upon. These things. But we do not want to stay in that. We don't want to wallow in it. So then be like, yes, voice it. Write in a journal. Speak it out loud like I'm speaking it out here. Sometimes when we do this and other people are doing this stuff to us, it is not necessarily appropriate to tell them because it's not going to go over well. Hence my issues with my aunt. So in that case, I would advise just doing a video, just getting it out there on your phone or whatever. And then as long as you get it out, and then you can delete the video. because at least that way you're voicing it, your energy, it's releasing from your body. So you're able to because if you don't, it'll like with me, it'll stay in your chakras. Whatever chakras, with me, it's my throat chakra and my sacral chakra, which is where your stomach is, your sacral. So I can't digest certain things that are going on because lately my stomach's been upset for the last 2 weeks. Hence why all this issue with grandma and things like that. So there's a lot of different things, and I just wanted to come on here. Whew, it's calming down a little. That's good. Hey, Lucy. I just wanted to come down here, whatever, and explain to you what's going on. Sorry, that was my brother just texting me about my grandmother. I'll have to text him back real soon. Hi, Lucy. Catch the replay, Lucy. I'm about to get off because this is just about the energies, the fact that we got Mercury retrograde going on, so we don't want to be signing contracts. We don't want to be getting into or quitting relationships right yet. We don't want to be buying houses, buying cars, signing contracts, starting new schooling, or any of that, because there'll be more bumps in the road. I mean, you can, but it's more like you're going to get hiccups. So it's more advisable to do it after the fact. Now, Mercury retrograde will stop after March 10th. There's also a pre-shadow and a post-shadow. So I advise just until like the middle of March, like the third week. That's when things will start to calm down. So after that, we'll be okay. We can get back into the groove of things. Another thing is what you want to do during this time is to do anything with RE. Like relax, reorganize your house, reevaluate life choices, reevaluate different things, refinance, rejuvenate, just things like that, if you understand. So just things like that. And then I'm just updating everybody about the recent updates, why I haven't been on in a while. And I'm wearing also my Mercury retrograde bracelets, which I did a post in here about the crystals that are good. So you got your black tourmaline, your amazonite, and your fluorite. So those are good ones. Also on this one, it's got the blue kyanite, which is good for deferring negative energy, and so is black. So those are blue lace agate's really good too as well. So that's a lot of good stuff, especially now. So we want to take it easy. We want to relax. We don't want to do anything sporadic, heat of the moment. We also want to be patient with others because communication is going to be really off. I already seen it in my work. I heard the one customer ask for a gallon of paint, and he actually said quart. So that's me not being able to hear it correctly. Another case in point was a customer told their contractor to go get a color. So the contractor came in, got the color, left, did whatever, went back to the customer. He had come in 3 days later and said the customer never said that color. He heard it that color, but it was actually a different color. So even he'd heard it differently. So that's, and technology. Technology will start malfunctioning like nobody's business. So we'll have like periods like that. Like if you're on your phone's not working correctly, or if you don't get internet at your work or something, or if you can't get into something, things like that. All these different little things. So, all right, well, I'm going to get off, and I'm going to message my brother back. And the reason why I haven't been on here is because we've had a lot of issues with my grandmother almost passing. She will be basically transitioning tonight into tomorrow, thankfully, hopefully of peace and mind and everything. And it'll be interesting. It's a lot more peaceful here at the house. I have to deal with my grandfather because my brother said, yes, we do actually have to tell him, which I understand. But then that will be more of a headache for me as well because he's not going to take it very well, and then he'll start getting up in the middle of the night, I'm afraid. But then again, I have to meditate more on that, and I have to just let it be. I cannot try to control the situation because the more you, and I've learned this, the more you try to control the situation, the more it will backfire on you. So here I am trying to control the situation so I don't say it, and nobody tells him that mom's passing when it's going to backfire. So I just need to just let it go. I don't necessarily have to be the one that's going to tell him. I don't need to put that on myself. More than likely, I'll just let the universe, thank you, Lucy. I'll just let the universe, do that. But the interesting thing here, too, is, I actually just went was it last Sunday, to my newest nephew's baptismal. So here we have the duality. We have a life that just came in on December 2nd into the world, and we have one that is passing out of this world. So you can see that duality there, the positive, the negative, the life-death scenario. This is a planet of duality. So we cannot just, and I'm learning this myself too, because I went for years just on the idea that I'm just going to be positive. I'm just going to be positive, ignore all the negative. Then the universe is like, no, your lesson is also how to deal with the both sides of it and balance in between. And so I think that's the grand test for all of us here living in this 3D physical world, to be able to balance the good with the negative. And once we get a hold on that, and we're not so, cut and dry and think it's this way and get all upset about this, and once we were like, oh, that sucks, but okay, if that's what you want to happen. Hence me losing a day at work because they had to cut hours. Now I have to look for another job because I can't live on 14 hours a week. Especially with me having to pay back my credit cards, which came back with a vengeance. So I have to deal with that as well. So instead of just being like, oh my God, blah, blah, and getting so negative and angry about it, we just have to be able to balance it. Yes, it's not a pretty situation. Yes, it sucks. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's not pleasant to go through. But in the same sense, if I hadn't gone through this, then I wouldn't be able to release that energy of what I believe is actually preventing me from being abundant and clear that out so I can be abundant. Because basically, I took my responsibility, owned up to it, instead of putting it in the back burner and ignoring it, thinking it was going to go away, like somebody else that was around me told me it was gonna. And I was thinking in the ego center, instead of owning my spirituality and being like, you know what, I did this, I spent the money, I owe them that back. Own it. That way, see, I just had a release there. That might be a lot of what I'm pushing down too. Accepting where we have fallen short and owning it, and then being like the other. All right, I gotta go. Somebody's here. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Love, light, and blessings, everybody. Namaste.